On this edition of the Law Firm Marketing Podcast, we are joined by someone who the American Bar Association regards as one of the top legal rebels who are finding new ways to practice law, represent clients, adjudicate cases, and train the next generation of lawyers. Hi, my name is Dan Toombs and welcome to the Law Firm Marketing Podcast, proudly brought to you by Grow Your Firm, the professional services marketing company. If your firm needs help with web strategy, web design, development, SEO or online marketing generally, Grow Your Firm can help no matter where you are in the world. You can contact Grow Your Firm at www.growyourfirm.com.au, and remember, if you're outside Australia, then make sure you attach the .au to the URL. Well, thanks to last week's guest, our resident Google AdWords expert, Jason Rodder. We had a lot of feedback from listeners who enjoyed the podcast and got something practical out of it. In fact, one listener took it upon himself to integrate a landing page for his Google AdWords campaign, and within 3 to 4 days he had some very good success with it. So we're really rapt that people are taking home what we're suggesting and implementing ASAP. Now, just a very quick heads up, you would have heard by now that the Law Firm Marketing Masters series of podcasts and the book will be released very soon. In fact, we're hoping to launch in mid to late January. Now, what is it? Well, we've literally pulled together the world's best law firm marketing experts, including Larry Bodine, Adrian Dayton, Nancy Fox, Ari Kaplan, Betsy Munnell, and a number of others who have given their 10 very best tips on not only marketing your firm in a rapidly changing landscape, but building an extraordinary business. And I've got to tell you that the content is exceptional. So what you will get is not only the 10 podcast recordings of the interviews with the experts, but you'll also get the book compiling those interviews, as well as other exclusive material, including access to the Law Firm Marketing Masters Forum and a magazine subscription to the forthcoming publication, Fast Firms. Now, you'll be able to pre-order very soon for a very special introductory price, and I'll keep you posted on that via this podcast, which comes out every Friday, of course. And you can also stay abreast of developments at www.lawfirmmarketingmasters.com. That's www.lawfirmmarketingmasters.com. As a lawyer, it's by no means a stretch to say that when many of us studied law, we were idealistic and really wanted to make a difference in the world. We were social justice orientated, but upon graduating, real life intervened, and before we knew it, we were at the dizzy, esoteric heights of private practice with a niggling thing inside of us that just said, "You've sold out." Well, Kim Wright is working with a growing number of lawyers all over the world on not only helping them achieve balance in their work and life, but through a different practice of law, which is really all about rekindling what's been lost along the way. The movement is called integrative law, a holistic practice that encourages lawyers to think about legal issues in a multi-dimensional way that offers real benefits to not only the client, but the lawyer as well. Now, the results are exceptional, and guess what? The bottom line hasn't suffered, but has improved considerably. Kim, thanks for joining me on the Law Firm Marketing Podcast. It's great to have you with us. I noticed that the American Bar Association back in 2009 gave you a fairly big rap with calling you a legal rebel who is finding new ways to practice law, represent clients, adjudicate cases, and train the next generation of lawyers. That is a fantastic accolade from such a mighty organisation in the United States.
It really is, and I was really pleased with it, especially since when I started doing this work about 10 years ago, mostly people said I was crazy. And, I would talk about lawyers as peacemakers or healers or holistic law, and they would look at me and they would say, "Are you really talking about lawyers? That's really not possible. Those are oxymorons."
Yeah, I can probably imagine listeners out there now just hearing those taglines of, peacemakers and cringing, thinking, "Oh no, what's this about?"
Well, and what it's about is a huge movement.
Mm.
That we recently had a conference of people who are engaged in this movement in about 24 different ways, and we came up with an umbrella term that we are now calling it integrative law, and it is much like the integrative medicine movement that it has been evolving over time. We kind of came from the place of sort of the analytical, in medicine it was the scientific model, and doctors had no bedside manner because it was all about the science, and lawyers had no personality because it was all about our thinking and our reasoning. And then over time, we've started integrating the more human elements that would be the bedside manner, would be the holistic health alternatives, and looking at how who we are in our lives actually impacts our health, and who we are in our lives impacts our legal issues.
Yeah.
And so that's a lot of what the integrative law movement is in the terms of the evolution of law.
It's somewhat counterculture insofar as, I suppose, as lawyers, our whole legal training has been around narrowing our focus, hasn't it? And what I sense about holistic lawyering, or the integrative lawyering, it's more about becoming much more collaborative and seeing things more broadly. Am I right in saying that?
You are right on target. In law school, we are taught to compartmentalize everything.
Yeah.
A car accident becomes a tort, and we look at all of the things about the tort and all of the things about any laws that were broken in a different compartment. And the way it occurs for the person who was in the accident is they got hurt, and maybe somebody else is responsible. And we've put it into all of these compartments. And when a client comes to us and they talk about they're hurt, we start immediately separating. These are the torts, and that's probably going to be handled by the criminal court. And we completely leave out the part where they've actually been physically and emotionally impacted, because that's not relevant.
Yeah, and what's the role of the lawyer in that case? Are you suggesting that the lawyer needs to be more, exercise more empathy? Is it just about that, or is it more about exploring other possibilities from a legal point of view of what's going on in this person's life where the firm or the lawyer or the lawyers could assist?
Well, I think it's a little bit of both. First of all, it's about actually being human and a lawyer at the same time. And a lot of what happens in law school is that